that. A lot of people in the comment section, they're always very insensitive. Someone is coming out and saying that they are lonely and they need help. And you are there saying, if you are tired, come back home. Is it until something happens and you now start saying justice for this, justice for that, justice for everything? No. Listen. Someone is complaining and saying that she's going through a lot, she's crying. In as much as it's very funny to cry on camera, but yeah, some things push you to some extent that you don't even know what you're doing. You just want to vent. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Adedayo, and today's episode of These Impressions, I will be talking about how to cope with loneliness and depression in Canada. So, guys, if this is something you're interested in, please stay till the end of the video. I promise it's going to be an interesting one. I'm not going to overflog the issue because I know that a lot of YouTubers have already addressed this issue of loneliness, depression, and any other word you can call it in Canada. It's not particular to Canada alone. So, for you traveling abroad, there is a high chance that at some point during your journey, you might get lonely. And of course, there are different reasons for this. I would also be talking about that on this channel today. Join me till the end of the video. Don't go nowhere and don't forget to subscribe. I've seen a lot of video out there where people come out to complain about the fact that they feel so lonely and so depressed living in Canada. It's a pretty common issue. In fact, it has affected the best of us, not just the people who have come to complain. It's affects, in fact, I don't want to say everybody because you cannot generalize situations like that. But I would let you know that out of 100%, more than 50% of people actually go through loneliness or depression at one point or the other living abroad. So don't think that you are immune to it as a new immigrant. There is a high possibility that at some point in your life or during the course of your journey abroad, you might start having the feeling of having no one around you. You might start, the whole abroad thing might start getting to you at some point, and you might start getting depressed. There are a lot of reasons why people actually get depressed in Canada. And of course, we cannot just limit it to one. There are a lot of reasons for depression or loneliness. The first reason for loneliness in Canada is the lack of community. If you are African like myself or from any other country at all where having a community is quite common. Nigeria, where I come from, we grow up with our extended families. We grow up with a lot of people around us, and of course, the community is quite open, where people can actually go into their neighbor's house and speak with the neighbors. You literally know everyone around you. You know who is who. You know who is not, and it's so easy for you to integrate because people are always welcoming and are always ready to get into your business. Well, that is lacking abroad. And it's one major reason why a lot of people feel that a lot of people feel that strangeness because you feel like you are not integrating well enough. First of all, as a black person, it's so hard when you get into an environment where it's just white people or majority of the persons or the people around you are white. You already feel that segregation one way or the other, even without anybody talking to you, because you feel left out. You feel like you don't belong there. Well, in as much as the world is shunning racism, sometimes race can actually play in factor in you feeling segregated or isolated. Talking about the lack of family dynamics here, you cannot just to talk to your neighbor anyhow. You don't relate with your neighbor like you would back in your home country. So um, having community is quite hard, especially if you do not have anyone around. If you're going to be the first generation of immigrant in the new country for your family, I'm talking about your family dynamic right now. It's going to be tough on you. Like myself, I'm the only one here amongst I know I'm trying to change that, but trust me, if not because I have a partner, I don't know how I would have coped because it's not easy being alone in a strange country and not having your family members around you. At least when you have your family members, you have hope. You have the confidence that if you need anything, you always have people to run to. When you don't have anyone at all, that's a big deal because you feel isolated. You feel like you don't belong. Another reason is money. Yes, money, ego, could be, guys, money. So living abroad as a new immigrant is quite hard, especially when it comes to earning money. Hmm. The probability of you getting into the new country and being able to get so much money like you dreamt you would when you were back home is very slim. So there are people that are lucky and they got like a very good paying job that allows them to be able to live to the standard that they want. There are a lot of people who weren't so lucky or who aren't so lucky who have to do survival jobs. And of course, when it comes to survival jobs, you earn enough to just be able to pay your bills, to pay your rent, and to put food on the table. There isn't a chance for you to be able to do extra projects or to be able to save something aside. When that is the crux of your life, that you just work, work, work without nothing to show for it, that can actually make you feel isolated and lonely. Not having enough financial stability can also lead you to loneliness. So, stress and a lack of motivation might be a reason for your loneliness. So, when you get into a new country, you want to be able to survive. So, you put yourself into work. You work, 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 work. Work without play makes Jack a dull boy. Work without play makes Jill a dull girl. So if you're just working, 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 and there's no downtime, you get stressed out. And once you're stressed out, you get depressed. You don't get enough rest. You don't get enough sleep. You lack motivation to be able to do any activities outside of work. All of those things actually could lead to a lot of health issues outside of loneliness, because loneliness is a mental thing. There is a disadvantage to your body too. So stress and lack of motivation is another reason why loneliness creeps into a new immigrant's psyche. So guys, let's watch out for these things. Imagine that you are someone who was something back home, and then you get here and you have to start literally from the beginning. You have to start everything again, and you have to you might have to learn a new language. You might have to get to familiarize yourself with things that you're not used to. All of those things can actually lead you to start feeling lonely. Yes, and if you're like me, I don't really have much friends. If you're like me, who doesn't make friends easily, and even when I make friends, I don't know how to keep them, then at one point or the other, loneliness would eat you. It eats you the most when you are idle, because sometimes when you're just alone, because let's not lie to ourselves, we have downtimes when we're just on our own thinking about our lives, and at that moment, a lot of things will be rushing into your head, and you just be thinking, wow, I was this, I was that. How did I end up being this? How did I end up being that? How? How? The how question. What do you do at that point when you start feeling that way? There are a lot of things that you can do to get yourself out of that psyche. There are a lot of things that you can do to motivate yourself in order to be able to push yourself forward. There are a lot of things that can help you combat loneliness in Canada or loneliness in the abroad in general. I'll go through some that I have written down here. And if you have any other suggestions, you can always put that in the comment section. First thing is to be grateful for where you are. I'm not a very religious person, but I also understand that the fact that I'm here, the fact that I was able to push through this far is enough for me to be grateful. Let me tell you, there's a lot of things that I myself want to do as a person that I haven't achieved yet. I have a lot of dreams, not just myself, even the people around me, they have a lot of dreams, but then we have so many limitations that we have to put into consideration. And those dreams might have to get stalled because we are just restricted in some ways. So when things or the thought of those dreams that I want to achieve and I'm not able to do just yet comes creeping, the first thing I do is to remind myself of how far I have come. I just look at my journey and look at what I've had to do to be where I am, and I appreciate myself. I see myself as a success, and I tell myself that I am the best amongst the best. Yes, I build the confidence in myself to let me see that I am progressing. In as much as in my own face, or to me, it might not seem as progress. It might seem like I am in one position. It might seem like I haven't done so much. But when I start having thoughts like that, I remind myself that I have to be grateful for where I have been, where I am, and where I would probably be in the future. It's one way to cope. Because when you start thinking of yourself as a failure, or seeing yourself as someone who hasn't really achieved anything concrete in life, trust me, it's going to eat you hard and you won't be able to get yourself away from that fog. It's important to let yourself remind yourself of what you've gone through, what you've achieved so far. Be grateful for where you are. Be grateful for where you're going to be, even though you're not there yet. And I'm not even talking about faith here. I'm just talking about you using your human conscience, you using your own thoughts to see what you need to see. Remember your uniqueness. Remember your uniqueness. Remember what makes you you. What are the things that form what are the things that forms your values? What are the things that have kept you this far? Remember who you are as a person. Simple. I do that too a lot. Okay. I don't compare myself to anybody because I'm me. Oh, I see people doing a lot of things, especially on this streets of YouTube. It's very intimidating though, where you see a lot of, apart from the fact that, okay, the people I started YouTube with a very long time ago have gone so far, and I'm still here counting 1,000 subscribers. Jokes apart, be mindful or remember what makes you unique. Remember what makes you unique. Look at yourself and just give yourself some good affirmations. Give yourself some self-love. Emphasis on self-love. Do special things for yourself. Buy yourself that nice clothes. Don't just work and just save the money and not show yourself some love. Because if something happens to you today, that money ain't gonna save you. Find activities, find a community if you can. Well, I don't believe so much in deliberately going to find a community. Sometimes that thing you're looking for, you will find it. Especially in abroad where okay. But it is important to have a group or a community that you can relate with, especially if you don't have a partner or you don't have kids. If you are a single person living in the abroad alone, no family members that you can relate with, it's best to look out for community. Social media has been my go-to friend. Well, I'm not very, very active, like trying to post and put comments. No, no, no. What I do most of the time is just listen. So I'm on Clubhouse, and I have like one particular channel on Clubhouse that I like to listen to. And I'm always there. I don't speak. I'm always in the gulag. But I just like listening to other people speak because they talk about things around them. They talk about life in general and how they're coping. And, sometimes they bant and cruise, and all of those things just keeps me going. So when I'm working, when I'm cleaning, when I'm always listening. So it keeps me alive. And that's one of the ways that I have chosen to combat this loneliness. We will fight the combat of loneliness and find it and kill it. Anyways, Sha, that's one of the things that I do. So if you're the kind of person that likes something like that too, that's another thing. YouTube is also a go-to place for things like that. I listen to a lot of channels, Obodo Imbo TV, Franklin, all of them. I did there. In as much as I'm not an active subscriber, I listen, I watch, even things that I'm not supposed to be watching sometimes. Well, those are my ways of combating loneliness. So find activities that interest you. Another thing that I love to do is to read novels. I have novels around the house. It's just that of recent I've not been having so much time to read. So if you're the type that likes to read, you can get a Kindle. I have a Kindle. You can get a Kindle. You can get an iPad and watch your movies or Netflix and chill. You can Netflix and chill with yourself or sleep. Sleep is very important. Yes. So, yeah, those are things. If you're now an outgoing person, find activities outside. There are activities in Canada that can be done. Snowboarding. I don't know if that's a thing. No. I shall know that they do. Hiking in the snow, especially when it's winter. You know, there's so many activities. You just Google activities that can be done during winter, activities that can be done in the summer, activities. There are a lot of them. It's just that because we are Africans, well, I'm talking to, I know most of my listeners are African. So I'll just address African because white people know how to cope with these things. We as Africans, we really don't do Oyinbo activities. So maybe it's time to learn some Weibo activities and just try to cope with those things. It really helps a lot. A lot of people in the comment section, they're always very insensitive. Someone is coming out and saying that they are lonely and they need help. And you are there saying, if you are tired, come back home. The funny thing about Nigerians is when they want to complain about things happening in Nigeria, they want you to listen and understand. But when it comes to you here complaining to them about your experiences, they never listen. They never want to know that you have a problem. They never want to know. They never ever want to know. And it's not good. You need to listen when people are complaining because when is it until something happens and you not start saying justice for this, justice for that, justice for everything? No, listen. Someone is complaining and saying that she's going through a lot, she's crying, in as much as it's very funny to cry on camera, but yeah, some things push you to some extent that you don't even know what you're doing. You just want to vent, which is okay. It's okay to vent. It's okay. If you have looked around you and you have seen that loneliness is getting into another level, maybe it's already turning into depression and now you're having depressive thoughts, it's best to seek a professional's help. It's best to speak with a professional who would be able to give you that kickback so you don't get too far, you know? So, therapy is an option. If your loneliness is out of heartbreak, listening to music, let me not recommend listening to music because sometimes when you listen to heartbreak music when you're heartbroken, it always comes out as a disaster. You even get even more heartbroken. So, best option is to find something doing. Exercise, healthy living, healthy food, proper sleep, meditation. Exercise, eating healthy, proper sleep, and meditation. If you are a new immigrant or someone at this time who is watching me and you're feeling lonely and downcast about your situation living abroad, please know that you are not alone. We are in this together. According to Justin Trudeau, we are in this together. You are not alone. You are not alone. It takes a while, but it gets better. Trust me, it does get better. And if you need to reach out, please don't hesitate to reach out to people. Don't hesitate to reach out to people who you feel might be able to help you. If you don't have anyone around you, maybe try to join a church or a mosque or an organization. If this topic made any sense to you in any way, I am pleading that you subscribe to my channel. Sometimes I know I rant a lot, but please forgive my ranting and subscribe to my channel. I'll continue to beg you until you subscribe. Until you increase my subscribers, press the like button. Why? Why do people not like to press the like button? Press the like button, please, and help this channel to explode. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching me today. My name still remains Adedayo. Adedayo Genge, Adedayo Genge. Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye.